This is the Simpit, this is Michi Hoya, and welcome to some live balance of performance analyzation here on the Simpit. Sean is off for an entire week, and despite this channel keeping entirely that, I had the idea to take out the new Assetto Corsa Competizione update, so it's the beta release number 3. And we have already seen the Lamborghini Hurracan, we've already seen the Bentley Continental GT3, but the new car is the BMW M6 GT3. So I had a spin in the BMW yesterday for a good 1 to 2 hours or something like that, and over the day I was like, you have not driven the other two cars back then the last 4 or 5 weeks, so as we're doing GT3, as we're doing endurance racing, as we're doing sprint racing, because the Blancpain, well, this is the official Blancpain GTE, GT Sprint and Endurance series there on Assetto Corsa Competizione, I thought, what about if we take a break and after the after this update now we do a live balance of performance of the 3 available cars on the new track, which is Paul Ricard. It has a very long straight, and I gonna show you what is the plan for tonight. So despite we're still sitting here on the desktop right now, I have brought up a document, which is this one. So I have it on my laptop to my left in order to be able to rework it, and I bring it up into the show every now and then. So we do have the Lamborghini Hurracan, we do have the Bentley Continental GT3 and the BMW M6. All of these GT3 basically. Big shout out to Steam King 2060 here in the chat. I saw him already throwing out a message, I guess. He has done some research on the car specifications. So we're gonna start with the Lamborghini Hurracan. So while the game is starting, we will have a closer examination of the car itself. Which is a 90-degree angled V10 engine, and it got 4 valves per cylinder. The race power is approximately between 365 and 412 kilowatts. Maximum torque around 500 Newton meter. We got a displacement of 5.2 liters, so that is quite a big amount there. Power weight ratio 2.5 kilos per horsepower, because its weight has 1,230. So with that being said, it produces horsepower in value of, well, feel free to calculate it. For some reason it doesn't show right here. But yeah, we can bring that calculation up, I'm pretty sure, and add that towards our list up here. So that's gonna be the car we're going to start with. I'm gonna take that picture away now for a second and bring that back up later. So anyway, guys, that is going to be the start. We're gonna do this in single player though, because I have not really an idea how good the multiplayer is in between, and whether it's running stable. So I decided to do that offline, but I will do that interactive. That means if you follow that link, you're gonna get access to this document and be able to help on the balance of performance. So you guys be ready to note down lap times, to note down notes on the balances. Gonna bring that up quickly again. So as you can see, I've drawn a big grid here, and we're looking for some top speed, we're looking for sector times and full race laps times per car. I'm gonna be able to put in some values as well, as like for the BMW M6 I raced yesterday. I think in clean air it's able to run 280 kph, so I can bring that in already, and as you can see, it's getting written in quite immediately. So that is the plan for tonight. It's gonna probably be a little bit of a longer stream, but it's gonna be something very different as we're starting right now, and also I'm gonna give you guys chances to ask questions, to hot lap. You will experience a free practice session hunting for the fastest lap. Sorry guys. Static and reset at the start of each new lap. The conditions are static and reset at the start of each new lap. That gives us perfect performance in order to find out the differences between each car. So Willie, my thoughts on Assetto Corsa Competizione physics handling FFB. I think FFB wise it has one of the most advanced force feedbacks I ever saw. So they have really done a great job on that one. That is for sure. So force feedback has a lot of details. I think it does have a lot of forces and a lot of power. So that is a really good job they did. What I already noted down in this set or in that grid is that we're gonna race with the aggressive preset and not gonna change anything on it. So we will have a look into certain values maybe and have some discussion what is going on, but we will not change anything on that setup. But we will drive each and every car. So here we go. I have kept the profiler now on the 900 degrees. I actually want to change that to. That's the only thing I forgot beforehand. I'm gonna swap it to 540. There we go. So the Lamborghini Hurracan, Huracán, whatever it's really called. We're not going to look too much about the ratings, but we definitely do look about the car's electronics, as I still want to get a little time in order to get used to this car and its behavior. So for those of you sitting in a document, if you scroll down to the very last row of the cell, I have already put in a placeholder for number of levels on ABS, traction control, and the ECU, and I can tell you that the ABS has got 11 different levels here in the Hurricane, or Huracán, sorry, I'm always saying Hurricane, in the Huracán. So currently we're using level 4 out of 11. Traction control, we got 3 out of 8. Don't count that top speed just yet, since we are not as perfect out of the final turn. The setup is aggressive, and we're gonna see how aggressive it really is over the course of a few laps. So this is not gonna be done within a minute or so. Stuart, what do you mean there about the good choice, as it doesn't tell what each setting does? You mean on the car setup, or what? I mean, I can explain what the parts are doing, but it's kind of senseless to do it because we're not going to change them anyway in order to have 3 identical cars from the presets. I have to admit that I do massively love the sound of this Huracán. So with all those settings we do have right now, the car feels incredibly stable, especially in those mid-speed corners. It felt quite good. Turn 1, turn 2. Knut Matthijsen, thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you very much indeed. So turn 6, turn 7, I already brought up a track map. Feels understeery through 6, to be honest. Let's have a look about the top speed then, as we're going down the long back straight up towards turn 10. pretty understeery into that top turn 10. How do I stop the Lamborghini from oversteering? I can make the rear anti-roll bar a little softer so it is able to carry more weight over the suspension. In addition to that, I could stiff up the front anti-roll bar to not even let the car roll as much. Beyond that, you'll always have the possibility to increase the rear wing for more rear end stability. And if that is not sufficient, you can also increase the rear right side in order to give the suspension a little bit more travel range and to increase the rake, which adds more downforce and therefore should stabilize the car. Channel VR, good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining. The first feedback I can give on that Hurracán towards the BMW is the braking is a lot better on it. Braking for turn 1, I feel like I can brake a lot later and with a lot less problems in the balance compared to the BMW. Turn 6 I have to wait quite long until really getting on the power. Here turn 7 there is a lot more understeer compared to the BMW. Hey Bex, to be honest I have not set a lap time yet for the global leaderboards, so we're going to do that in that show in between. Top speed you probably can know, 279. Oh, massive moment here in the brakes. So it's very interesting, from high speed braking the car really likes to snap in the rear end, or if you throw it into the fast corners. Car likes to snap a lot. However, here in those low speed corners the car's pretty nice in the front. Yeah, Pilokun, you're absolutely right. I could do that for that turn 10 to move the braking balance a little towards the front. So now I'm trying to focus to set a good lap time in. Brendan, please know that I'm not running the full quality of the game because my 970 cannot handle it otherwise while the stream is running. So a lot of understeer is going on here, so I need to set myself very good for that turn 7. So we're gonna brake bias 5 clicks forwards, 62% out of 61. Gonna hit the brakes, stay in 6th. That's fairly nice. As it is a lot more oversteery than the BMW, but very nice through turn 10. A lot more stability here. Turn 11 that is. So turn 12 feels good. Final turn. So the first valid lap time. Going across the line, 1:55.0. That can still be improved. As we're 2.5 tenths ahead already. lot of trail braking to get the weight up on the front. Although you really have to admit this car is a lot more willing to turn, especially in slow speed corners, than the BMW. We go a little wide over turn 7 though, as we were not as good prepared for the apex. Hey Protocol, the M6 is pretty nice. I do favour the sound of the Huracán a lot though. BMW is especially strong in the high speed corners. I've still got some problems with the Huracán here in turn 10, and also went wide over the track edges. So we'll go for another lap before we have a little look at the setup, so what we can set in the ECU, EG, and some further settings. Stuart, why you want to have added the Blancpain into Assetto Corsa 1? Because you keep the game being moddable at all? Is that one of the reasons, or feel free to explain? So turn 1, turn 2. Not too much of a good exit out of 2. Get the car dancing around. Onto the long straight we go. Better run through 7. So now we definitely want to make sure to not be on the brakes while turning here on the high speed turn 10, because that unsets the car pretty much. Protocol, I had a game crash yesterday, but I was not online, so also had that problem offline. I missed the first apex of turn 11. Really need to keep that weight on the front there. A little bit of an unbalance on the trail brake. So that is a pretty difficult thing. This car, the BMW needs trail braking in order to be turned at all. The Huracán likes to step out already when trail braking in mid-speed corners. We're gonna add that on our paper real quick. So another personal best. Bad exit. Was a good turner altogether, but the exit was weak. Nevertheless, we got a little jump ahead of our lap time. Traction control does not need to work too much in level 3. Let's see if we hit the 280 marker on the top speeds. Huracán is pretty flat, so maybe we can do it. Not sure if we made it. I think we did. Too far on the inside over the curb, costing us all the time. Not really been able to sneak back there on the Ghost. Yeah, Chief, that is one of the reasons why I'm not running VR just yet. I definitely want to wait on the next generation. Yo, Brendan, how you doing, buddy? Not taking those curves too hard, and that's about it. So we keep it at this point. And gonna have a little analyzation into what is going on in that car. So have a look at the timetables at first. They're gonna bring up the sheet right here. I'm gonna move out of the picture a little, get rid of the gloves, and then we can start filling in the gaps right here. So what I am going to do is I mean, we do have all kind of lap times here, so we are looking at the fastest. We want to look at the fastest lap time overall. Tell you what, gonna do it like this: 32.836. That is sector 1. Sector 2 is 32.259. Actually made a mistake. Here we go. Sector 3 is 5310, which will be a full lap time of 154.405. And in the next cell we're gonna note the absolute best, which is a 31.638 in sector 1, a 181 in sector 2, and a 50.310 from our actual lap. And if we add that together, we're gonna be somewhere in a 1 minute 54. And I'm gonna leave this blanket right here. For those of you who want to calculate and fill those 3 digits, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm gonna do that after the stream. Top speed, I think we reached 280 kph, just about there. I have to remove that since that is wrong. So balance and the slow speed. It's pointy on the front. Good balance overall. In slow speed all those GT3 tends to understeer in slow speed corners. However, compared to the other cars, this car tends a little to oversteer in comparison to the other available GT3s. Hey there, Jump Up Rich. How you doing, buddy? Alright, it's a little it tends to be a little oversteery, which is no surprise due to the fact we're using the aggressive preset. Balance in the mid-speed corner, it's very understeery here. Especially around turn 6, turn 7. Balance in the high speed understeery as well. That might be something you may want to have a look into setup wise when we're speaking about that. Looking into pit setup, so the current setup, fuel strategy, you have 2.77 liters per lap estimated. Level of traction control ABS, so TC has 8 levels, ABS has 11 levels, ECU, I think they have from 0 to 3, electronics, yep, a range from 0 to 3. Beyond that, mechanical grip, we haven't changed anything right here, and this doesn't really matter right now. What we may want to add is the front aero variation. That is 1.6%. So quickly gonna go through the setup as it is right now. Well, let me just finish that points here. Braking turn 1 shorter and more stable than the BMW. Turn 10 a lot, no, turn 11 that is, a lot more stable rotation because of the understeer. That needs to be set at that point. The car usually in that turn 11, and I'm gonna bring that turn 11 up, which is the long right-hander. The car usually tends to and wants to spin over there because all the weight is gonna be pushed to the front, which makes the rear end loosey. And the Huracán keeps nice and steady. They really tends a little to understeer. As you can see here in turn 6, 7, it's understeery through turn 10 and turn 11. I think that needs to be set. Also then likes to snap oversteer into turn 10 because when on the brakes, weight at the front, and with a high velocity, the G-forces are gonna be exponential, you say in Germany. So if you go as 2 times as fast as beforehand, the G-force is gonna be 4 times as high, and that puts obviously a different stress on the suspension. So weight at the front causes the rear to be unloaded weight-wise. Hey Heiko, what you mean about 10 years? So the balance high speed, I think it's understeery. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to get it corrected or something. But I think it is understeery and very understeery in the mid-speed corners. It is very easy though. Perfect for turn 12. 15, turn 4 to 6, or 3 to 5. That is for that kind of car, for that kind of racetrack. The balance and the slow speed is pretty good, and the balance in the mid-speed corner also. Turn 1 is okay-ish, but turn 2 exit is pretty poor. I think that can be set. And high speed turns, well, turn 7, turn 10 and turn 7, those are most probably the corners where you really have to get the weight on the front somehow in order to make the car turn. Balance on the exit on an acceleration, it's understeery due to the car's philosophy. So you may want to need to work around that with different things like rear wings, right height, stuff like that. So when really going into setup work, you want to adjust the mechanical grip there. And there was something else I wanted to add, maybe. Kind of don't know at the minute. Kind of forgot it. I'm sorry about that, guys. So I'm gonna bring that picture away once and ever again. So here we are, real quick, electronics, 0 to 3. ABS maximum is 8. ABS maximum is 11. Traction control is 8. We haven't changed anything right here, and we do not even look too much into that. Have changed the brake bias a little, click towards the front. Maybe we do another video of really setting up the cars and then do another balance of performance. And I've noted down the front aero variation. So that is what I want to set right here. Tires are kept the same. So that's it about the Lamborghini Hurracan. I think then next up we want to have a go at the Bentley Continental. Have I missed anything? Fuel load is in, braking and turning, high speeds. No, I think that's it. Wanted to add fuel as a value again. So that means we go back and quit out of this room to quickly reset the car and take the Bentley. Here we are, Bentley, just keeping the very same team, and already loading up back onto the track. So all we're gonna do now is bring in the setup preset, which is the aggressive one. Confirm that. Go back and drive.
Green light. Go, go, go.
The first thing that is really different here, right-hand drive. That's gonna screw me up for the first couple of laps. Other than that, you can already note down if you want traction control level 4 out of 8, or again 8 levels and 11 levels on the ABS. Interestingly, braking bias is 70%, so 8% more than on the Huracán. We're gonna see how this car is operating around this racetrack. Turn 5. This Bentley feels really, really heavy. It's very nice through the mid-speed corners. Yeah, protocol, that is really something they have done good, that they put out some explanation of setup values right there. So top speed 277. That car turns better than the Hurricane does. Oh, this turn 11 is an idiot now. With the right hand side drive. It really screws up my mind a little, to be honest. Also, if there's understeer in the car while braking, you may want to move the brake bias a little towards the back in order to support the trail brake. Yeah, of course, the first lap's gonna be invalidated. I do not feel that this car is gonna be really fast around here. I might be very wrong. Especially around turn 6 and 7. This car is great. Despite we go wide here. Yeah, Brandon, that is some sort of right. I also figured out that the braking sometimes sounds like a massive train comes to a stop. But in general, if you have those massive iron brakes, or I'm not sure, oh, I forgot to say, not sure if it's iron or steel. Could be steel. The massive steel brakes, they are sounding like a whistle anyway in the hard braking zone. So when you sit at the Nürburgring when there's Blancpain and those cars brake for turn 1, all you hear is that whistle blowing from the brakes, and see the glow of the discs. Car has very bad traction, like the traction control is operating a lot. Turn 2 exit is so much better than in the Huracán, not as understeery. However, the turn in is pretty lazy. And also, as I said, the traction is pretty bad, so despite traction control is working hard here already and pretty long, you always hear and feel the traction control taking action. So let's see what is the top speed. .277 apparently only. Approaching turn 11. Oh, I need to get that turn so damn right. Just can't do it. Yesterday there was a real racing driver, Emmanuel, here. He has given me a lot of useful tips. I still need to try putting them around. So in rail braking the car has a good balance, I can tell you that. It likes to understeer a bit, but once you do the rail brake and you do it soft, that gives the car really good turning. Shouldn't jump that silly over that turn 2 curb. Now let's get some lap times in. Have you seen the aggressiveness of this Bentley already? I could not make the Huracán slide that silly into those corners unless you're braking for that turn 10. And if you guys got any questions whatsoever, feel free to just put them out. I'm gonna answer them as good as I can. A little understeery towards the exit. And rip lap time. So yeah, high speed trail braking, very same problem. Like the Huracán likes to step out in the rear end. Mid speed it's pretty much alright. And slow speed it tends to understeer. Yeah, protocol, I do think so as well. Probably you just cannot really compare the cars with the preset, since the preset probably gives some overall value, but there would be specific ones required. Nonetheless though, some balance of performance thing is going on still. I mean, if you get out that list for balance of performance and then see what the car does and what kind of areas, you already get an idea of what you may need to change individually on the setup. Nearly too much on the inside. Better want to stay off the curbs. See you there, Brendan. Thank you for joining, though. So 1 minute 55.8. That is the first marker. Car bottoms out on the apex of 2. Now we went wide on the exit of 6. That compromises our exit into 7 and on the back straight. Yeah, James, I agree with that. I really agree with that. So just another 2 or 3 more laps until we come to a conclusion. That was interesting indeed. And despite we already got 70% of braking power at the front, the car is still pretty aggressive in the rear end while braking. Yeah, James, I think the physics are really good, as in pre-beta or alpha game, whatever, something in that stage. I think it's a really good base to start with. Oh, and we lost basically all time from going wide in the final turn. It's hard to see the apex there. I'm overdriving this car badly now. .4 though. Hey Marco. I can give you the values of force feedback settings in a minute if you want to. Hey there, Mythbuster. Yeah, still on the brakes while turning. gave it a real big slide. That accident fucks up the initial turn in. Oh, yeah, off track. I agree, Mythbuster. I so much agree. I think in iRacing, all those GT3 cars are way too understeery, and in that case here, they are quite a challenge to drive. But once even they step out, you can catch them. Unlike in iRacing, where you most probably end up in a spin. So we go for another try and see what we can do about the lap time. Yeah, Buzz and Hornet, you could argue about that if the traction control is a bit too high. It is level 3 of 11 though, so... well, that is an off track. I can just... put, it's 4 of 8. I can put it to 3, like in the Huracán, and see if that somehow changes the things. I think that makes the car very aggressive now. So I think 4 is the right setting here. Gonna change that back. So I just want to get 1 lap in so I can get yeah, so I can get a good comparison. I think there is a lot of torque in those low gears on that car. You also have to see that the engine has quite a bit some power. I think the Huracán had 2.5 kilograms. No, the other way around. It has less power, which also explains why it's slower on the main straight in the end. Huracán has 2.5 kilograms per brake horsepower, whereas the Bentley got 2.6 kilograms per horsepower. It just feels like it has massive torque, hence why we got a lot of wheel spin. That was a very good turn 1, turn 2. For turn 1 and 2, this car is probably really, really good. Missed the apex of 6. Or 5 that was. Through turn 7. Hopefully the final lap of this run. Mythbuster, that could well be, although you're not allowed to turn the wheel too much, otherwise the car will understeer a lot, which is apparently true for the BMW. Can show you that in a minute when we go towards BMW. Stay where you are. No. Keep freaking fucking up that corner. I hate this part of the circuit. By the way, also the interaction with the cars and the curbs is pretty massive. You can hear it, you can feel it in the wheel, you can see the cars jumping over the edges. So there's a lot of stuff going on when taking those cars over the curbs. This is so hard to get it right, man. Yeah, I've definitely found a way to get quick through turn 1 and 2. Will I find a way for other track parts though too? Fucking up the exit of turn 5 is not as tragic, because there's turn 6 where you need to lift most probably anyway, so there's just a very short acceleration zone. Come on, I want to get the lap together now and bring it home. Oh yeah, understeered it well too nice into that corner. That was decent though. So yeah, you at no time want to make a full brake action. Alright, there we go. I'm pretty sure that this car has an incredible good Sector 1 and a pretty good Sector 2. But a pretty awful Sector 2. So Sector 3 is what has been quick. Let's have a look though. Timetables. Well, get up the balance of performance sheet straight away. I'm gonna have you guys a little look into the times. I hope you can read it. This is something, I don't want to say bad, but it could be a little bit bigger on the display. I mean, I'm just pinpointy a bit. So Sector 1, 31,767. Sector 2, 32.415. Sector 3, 50.766. And looking at the optimals, Sector 1, 31. Actually, the 767 is the quickest. Sector 2, 32.046. That was a pretty strong turn 10 back then, so that probably was the game changer. And the final sector, 50.766. Right. Marco, thank you so much for your subscription, and as I just promised you, here we are, options, controls. Gonna do that as soon as I swap the cars, okay? So I brought that up already here on the timetable. So if we top up the totals, the BMW, with a BMW I did it 1 minute 54.405, and with the Bentley I did 1 minute 54.948. Also, if you compare the sectors, Sector 1, a tenth, half a tenth quicker than the Huracán. Sector 3, despite the cars being pretty heavy, still kind of a cage lap time, so 2.5 tenths down. Also, that turn 11, 12 wasn't as perfect as it could have been. Interestingly, we do not lose too much around Sector 2, which is a surprise, because arguably 2 to 3 or 4 kph is quite some difference. So speaking about the kph, 277 I think I did in the fastest point. That means we're also going to have some more looking into the pits setup menu and have a look at the current setup. Aero, see that? The aero, the front aero variation is only 0.5%. That is nearly nothing, and you really felt that in that turn 10 of that racetrack. Beyond that, fuel and strategy, a fuel per lap, and that is going to be important for endurance racing. The Huracán gets better lap times in with a 7.7 liters per lap estimated, whereas the Bentley 3.2 liters per lap estimated. That is a big difference. Speaking about TC, 8 levels, and now I can put that up, 8 levels. Speaking about ABS, we had 11 levels as well. The ECU, I'm gonna quickly look that up on my own. ECU, that has no ECU map whatsoever, so you only have chance to run in one standard mode. And I'm gonna add that on the BMW, on the Huracán. We ran a mode 1. I remember that. So probably there's still some performance left in that Huracán. So there is a lot. That has a lot to say already. Balance-wise, acceleration feels like a lot of torque. Massive wheel spin, if no TC, obviously. Up into third gear. So first and second, a lot of wheel spin. Indeed. Balance while braking turning does require trail braking, that's for sure. But it's pretty harsh. So we know it has 70% brake bias at the front in that kind of setting. Still like snap oversteer into mid-speed corners coming from high speed. That is valid for turn 3, for turn 10, for turn 11. Sometimes, depending on how you approach it, turn 12 as well. The balance and high speed is understeery. Heavy weight needs swung around. It really needs to swung around turn 10. That means tapping on the brakes, getting the car into a quick movement, and then release the brakes and try to use the slip angle in order to get through turn 10. Indeed. Balance mid-speed corner, pretty okay. Does understeer less than the Huracán, especially around turn 6. That is where it is really good. Better turning through turn 11 and 12. Brilliant, I have to say, through turn 1 and 2, as it's seen as a corner combination. That is very brilliant. Balance and slow speed, little more understeery than the Huracán. High weight is definitely felt. Does not turn around as quick. So, what else I got to add? Throttle can help the turn. Beyond that, I think that is everything I need to add right here. What definitely needs to be set is that needs to be marked compared to the 2.5 kilogram per horsepower here. I think that's about it. Here you see one of the massive difference. Weight 1,230 compared to 1,300. That has a lot to say. So 70 kilos is a fair lot amount of stuff right there. So that brings me back into the picture. Hey JetMat Gamer, thank you so much for joining. And Rustocast, thank you so much for your follow-up. Sadly, the GIF was not being seen as I had the picture of the balance of performance up there. So, going on into the final set, we have everything noted. Yep. So that means going back into the main lobby, giving Marco the chance to have a look on those settings here. So options, controls, steering wheel. Here's the force feedback setting I got right now. Minimum force is at 7%. Should be probably a little lower than, because I get a lot of clipping. Road effects are pretty high. Sometimes that is throwing me off a bit, but I just keep it now. I'm not going to change anything right here because that will now screw up the comparison between the cars. Make sure to keep the dynamic damping at 0%. Because on a G29 it only adds resistance while turning the wheel, which is not good for the case and for the engine in here, and pretty much unnecessary for racing it anyway. Beyond that, I do not have too much to set in here. I do have a button box, so that is the reason why we got so many things mapped. You can see it here, the sim projects JC32. So that's very much indeed. LA, hey there buddy, thank you so much for your donation there in a super chat. I appreciate that a lot. This goes to the Simpit, so in the name of Sean, thank you very much indeed buddy. Yes Luca, I do live in Germany. And speaking of Germany, we're going back to the German beast, the BMW M6. So the car of this update is going to be used now here in the single player, in the Hot Lap Challenge, as we swap to the BMW and we take the number 36. Sorry, because that is the car of driver Emanuel Finke, who was yesterday here on the stream, giving us a little feedback, giving us his personal thoughts on how things are in Assetto Corsa Competizione, as he is one of the devs, which means he's driving the car in real. He is giving the feedback to the devs. He is the guy that notes down stuff that he can see on our streams, and we had a very interesting talk yesterday already, and also throughout that day, so I'm looking forward meeting him again. And I forgot to stupidly accept the car. There we go. BMW M6 GT3 around Circuit Paul Ricard. Final part of this balance of performance before we get into the Hot Lap Challenge and try to beat the guys there in the global leaderboard and see where we belong to. So there we go, we press confirm, go setup, and it gets the aggressive setup in. Front aero variation 0.7, so kinda average in between. I'm not too sure whether this value is correct. I kinda do not believe it is, but we will have to note it down since we have no other evidence whatsoever. So traction control, we got 10 settings for traction control, but only 5 for ABS this time. So let's see what we can do. Interestingly enough, it got a little sign on the dashboard when the traction control is working in our favor. Let's see what we can do with the BMW then. What we do know, it is pretty quick on the straights. It is just super lazy and heavy through the corners. and I think turbo kicks in quite late in the BMW. Mr. Meaty79, thank you for your subscription. I appreciate that a lot. Welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy it. So let's have a look, top speed wise. Alright, James. Have some fun. See you later there, buddy. So don't take too much of that curve. You really feel the roll in this BMW. It's pretty heavy. As the first lap remains valid because not being entirely off the track limits. Car has an on-throttle understeer, that is for sure. It requires a lot of trail braking and in general is very pleasant on the brakes. Turn 7, here we go, full throttle. Let's see what the top speed. Coming towards the braking point. 280 clearly. And you guys need to help me whether it was 281 at some point. I'm not sure, I cannot see it from my peripheral. Pretty bad turn 12. 11. Go too aggressive over those curves. Car feels brilliant in that preset. Coming around, setting a 155.2. Has not been a perfect lap overall, so there's still room to improve. Yeah, too much oversteer. Was way too aggressive here. Let's see what we can do though compared to our Ghost. Hope the game doesn't die in between. I would love to use first gear for that turn 4. Since the turbo kicks in pretty late in that BMW, I feel. Hey Ton, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. And thank you, Mr. Meaty, for that feedback. So have a look to, I think we stay at 280 in that configuration. Nice and steady on the brakes, and it's gonna be fine. Look how much time there is still to gain out of turn 11 to 12. I think this car would probably require a little more traction control. I keep it at, no, we'll set it to 4 now. Pedro, that is the BMW M6 GT3, so the new car of the Assetto Corsa Competizione beta release. Better through that turn 1 and 2, lost a little time though, despite we're purple. Second gear, I'll take it into first. There's way more power on that little sprint towards 5. Be patient around 6. Really need to have a good setter car there. Onto the back straight. Lost a little bit on 6. They're absolutely identical. Sector 3 is gonna make the difference. Look at how quick that car turns. I just made the lap time red. The car does not like to roll though, so you rather give it brakes or gas in order to keep it stable, but if you go in off throttle, the rear end likes to rotate a lot. Could have to do something with the differential. I'm unaware of whether you can change that. Ton, actually I do like it. I consider Assetto Corsa Competizione to become one of the big titles to be excessively played and raced on in 2019. It's just a little sad story that they are only committed to Blancpain GT3, but we'll see what the future brings up. So turn 1 and 2. Better through turn 1 and 2, 1.5 tenths up. Pretty lazy around that turn 5, I can tell you. The BMW feels the worst of all 3 around that turn 5. Had to put in a lot of steering, which slowed us down towards the back straight. Yeah, Pedro, I thought so too, but apparently in that version they have used the most sharp ones. Devin John Gibbons, thank you so much for hosting that stream, appreciate that. Welcome everyone to the balance of performance analysis here on the Assetto Corsa Competizione. So we're doing that live right here, we're in the 3rd car, and despite we're finishing that lap right now, which is not perfect, giving us a personal best in the end, I'm going to quickly bring up a sheet that is going to show you what we're doing right now. So that is what we focus on, and I'm just going to do 2 or 3 additional laps before I will come to a conclusion. Yes, David, actually you're so right. That the first time I looked at that fuel reading, I was like, no, that cannot be right. And apparently, as soon as I looked to the fuel usages of the Huracán and the Bentley, I was like, nope. I'm pretty sure that the BMW does not use twice as much fuel. Stuart, why you decided to do that? Thank you, Twiggy, for giving that feedback here on the tires. Just for your information right now, I decided to take out each car with the aggressive preset being given by the game and do not change anything. What I should change though is my driving. I want to quickly... can I go pit setup and simply restart with a fresh set of tires to get it done? And not going to take long. And then we have a look into the numbers and do finalize the analyzation before we go into a little quick race, or actually in a little race weekend where I can show you the pit stop then. John, how did the 3-hour race end up? My game yesterday crashed twice, and it crashed during oh, for God's sake. I want to short up that process now though, since we are working on that for over an hour already now. So yesterday my game crashed twice. Once during practice and the second time in the final lap of the 20-minute quick race we did. So the pit stop looks great. Okay, I'm gonna have a look at that very much. So turn 1 and 2, gently through it, there we go. Sadly losing a bit too much time. Nonetheless we keep going. Oh, that big slide was a mistake. So I'd rather not use the first gear because too much torque through turn 4. Now we're looking for a 10th to find. Yeah, that might be well the case. Ellis Jones, thank you so much for your super chat there. That also goes to the account of the Simpit, so in the name of Sean, thank you very much indeed for that. Oh, yeah, you hit that stupid curb and then you're just flying away if you're going too far to the inside of it. Look how much time there is still to gain in turn 11 due to that mega slide. Nonetheless, we already set a 1 minute 54.1, which is the quickest of all 3 cars. Yeah, Darius, all that paint on the exits and on the off tracks can really be confusing. So let's get this stuff together. Malachi 1110, thank you so much for following. I appreciate that a lot. So, get it together, come on. Too much of a slide out of 210s, 310s when we approach turn 4. Nice and tidy through 5, please, thank you. Okay. If we get 6 and 7 perfectly right, with a very soft turn in, we could gain a little bit on the straights. Just as good. Oh, Triggy, I'm gonna need to have a look into it because those marbles there look really weird. Steve Hetzies, thank you for your subscription. Stay in 6th, come on, get around that turn. Very nice. Don't go too wide. Oh, we're just so on it. Half a tenth missing. One and a half tenths short. I'm gonna give this a final try, and then we have a look into balance of performance. At least we're identical. John, what was your lap time, your quickest around here? Just out of curiosity. So are we reaching 281? I don't think so. Oh, brilliant turn 10. Oh, don't throw that away now. Oh. We do throw it away. Oh, for God's sake. Guys, I will go for another lap, and in between I will bring up that sheet. Apparently it seems like my mouse has died on battery between... where is my mouse, for God's sake? Probably it's deactivated. I quickly want to bring up that link to the document, so if you guys see something and want to add something, feel free to do it. As you get access to all the channels you're watching right now. Get access to the document if you want to add stuff, if you want to correct stuff, feel free to do it. The sheets then in the end going to be finalized and being brought out as a PDF. And for those of you guys interested, write me a mail at hoyamichi@avricronicracing.com or at sean@thesimpit.com. Subject, balance of performance, Assetto Corsa Competizione. And then I am more than willing to send out the document which we worked on right here. So if you guys want to get out on the other builds then, and want to also add the other cars, you can do so for your personal library. You know what my big problem is right now? I do know a 53 is possible, and I want to have it so badly. I'm trying so hard now that I won't get it anyway. Turn 1 and 2. That was not nice what I just saw right now. Thank you for bringing it back. Oh shit. Now I clicked the wrong button.
Green light, give it all you can.
I'm pretty sure all the... Oh fuck. Yeah, all the numbers are back now, gone now. Yeah, we'll just do 2 or 3 laps and get it back before putting in the balance of performance. What I already can say is it feels the most lazy. It requires a lot of trail braking. It has most top speed, and I think it also has most of the power of all those 3 cars. That is just pissing me off right now, because that lap time was not too bad. and it really much displayed what I thought in the beginning. Yeah, Heiko, you're right. And just when I threw away the 53, I knew exactly how to drive the car. So I won't bring that traction control back to 3. I was doing a good job until that moment when I completely threw it away. So I'm quickly gonna redo it. Yes, Heiko, but I do like it. I do really like it. Oh dear. Mach LM, I absolutely agree. A Bentley by a mile feels like being the heaviest tank in the entire GT3 world. I mean, the Bentley does have other advantages though. Bentley feels great in the mid-speed corners. Oh, now I can't get my stuff all together, it is so annoying. Alice Jones, thank you so much for that super chat. As I'm going to restart that freaking... I think I forgot to take the preset. Setup. Yeah, it's on the safe preset. No wonder that I can't give it the way I want to give it. So we drive out. Sorry guys. Hey Manuel, what the hell is happening right now? There we go. Alright. So, Emmanuel is back. The BMW race driver from the real world. He is also driving in the Blancpain GT series. He is the one that actually helped designing the physics of that BMW. So if you want to get out some interesting questions, then now you have time to do it. Hey Miss Figas. While I will struggle to reset my lap time, I'll go too hard over that curb. Drive that GT3 very gently. Yeah, very gently but too impatient. Oh, he's also the one currently making dinner. Is there pizza and pasta when you live at Milano? That would be great. Oh, too far on the inside of that turn 10. That is so annoying. I just want to get one lap in. It is so difficult, really. I mean, I can smell that 53. Having set a 150, 54.1, and because of having set that, I also need to get back the sector times for comparison. Then we can fill that sheet of balance of performance. Ah, there you go. I'm sorry then. Can we maybe get it right all together now? Still have to put that time on the leaderboard then. Too quick into 5. Be more patient around 6, come on. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Soft through 7. Oh, and you hit that bump. Incredible. Till there was a good lap. So mess figures point absolutely proven. Curbs are real killers. Lionheart Racing, hey there buddy, how you doing? Right, turn 10. Yoo-hoo! We have just invalidated our lap time again. For some reason at BMW, yesterday I had problems putting the laps together already. But now it goes ridiculous. Yeah, bad mantra. You're absolutely right, Heiko. Incredibly bad mantra. Oh, don't hit that stupid curb. Really, those curbs slow you down so damn much. If you hit them wrong. Can we please do it? Solid lap till here. Please get that 7 right now. I was so conservative on the line. Would rather be conservative than hit that stupid bump again. Yeah, Mach LM, you're absolutely right about that. But I also felt that on other racetracks as well. On the Nürburgring, let's say. Don't go too wide. Missed the apex, to be honest. The rest of the turn was considerably okay. Fucked up the braking. There's a 10-2 lying in turn 12. Turn 14, sliding too far to the outside. Really bad final turn as well. So there's surely 3 or 4 tenths to be found in the final sector.
Well done, mate. This is me, your personal best.
Lol. Personal best with such a crap third sector. Can't believe it. Bad exit on 2. Still everything possible that lap. Just half a tenth down. Okay, stay in second, brake earlier to really... okay. Emmanuel will try that. Conservatively here. Missed that first apex. I've got through the turn nicely then. That was a brilliant turn 12, I think. Well, not brilliant, but... Oh, too much understeer. Scrot86, thank you for your follow-up. Oh, I appreciate that a lot. By how much I did my personal best now? 1,000? Too shabby. Too hard over the inside curve. So in second gear, the car was being, it felt as it had been pushed through the apex. Maybe I need to slow it more down. Maybe that was the mistake. I'm not quite sure. So 2/10, 1/10 surely to be found in turn 10. Need to nail turn 11 and 12 then again, which is going to be. Oof. I consider the last time around being pure luck. Ah, very nice. Rip. Ow. So let's see if we can at least do some back-to-back tests if we get a final good turn together. Coming through 13, 1.5 seconds. We're finding a 10.5. Yeah, there is probably 2/10 lying around. It's not too bad. Oh, brilliant turn 5, so good. Come on. Oh, fingers crossed now. For myself, for my happiness. We're a 10th up. Well, three-quarter of a 10th. This is the final try anyway. Should be able to hit a 53.2. Okay. Thank you, David. So it's going to be a little of an improvement. So actually there's really 3/10 are lost there overall. So probably being able to get into a 53.5, 53.4. Anyway, coming back to the actual point of this stream today. And here we are back with the timetables. And I'm going to move out of the picture real quick in order to note the best sectors around there before getting on with the other information. So the first sector in the quickest lap was 31.371, sector 2 31.884, sector 3 54.18. Optimal sectors though. Sector 1 31.37. No, yeah, 371. So the final lap. Sector 2, a 31.668 penultimate lap. And sector 3, a 30, not a 30, a 50.418. I did not lose that much, really, did I? Actually, I gained 6,000 in the final sector. That's not really much. Anyway, that means personal best around here, 153.673. The optimal, I'm going to calculate very soon, but it's not going to be fairly different. Going on, quickly look what Emmanuel said. There's a lot in the last turn. Yep, I agree with you. The final last turn in that other last lap wasn't even really good. Hey Terry, how you doing, buddy? Right, getting up to the balance of performance sheet again. So here we are. A little more drop down. There we go. I'm not sure whether we hit 281. I do not believe we did. The aggressive preset has let me look. Front aero variation of 0.7, I think. Aero variation is 0.7%. What is definitely wrong? Fuel and strategy. Here we are. No, even further down the list. There we go. 5.13 liters per lap. That is surely wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Emmanuel. But I do think the BMW is not burning as much fuel as it says here. Interestingly, though, traction control. We do have 10 levels. 10 levels. ABS, we got 5 levels. So that is a pretty significant change towards the other twos. Here we are. Let me quickly have a look. Caller009, thank you for your follow-up there on Twitch. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. ECU. Does the BMW have ECU maps? Yes, indeed. 3 maps, and we were running map 0. So the ECU map 0 to 3, and get that levels away, put it there. So get everything in the right format. So balance and acceleration. Definitely has good traction, that car. Yeah, Emmanuel, it says, I can show you right here, mechanical grip, fuel and strategy. It says 5.133 liters a lap. I do not know really what it's using on the dash or on the fuel calculator itself, but it says this in the files or in the actual room. So another bug found, I guess. Moving on in the balance of performance. So it has a good traction out of slow corners. That it is really, really strong. Lacks a little bit of stability, which could also be in touch with the traction control setting. That probably needs further testing. But it lacks a little bit of stability out of medium speed corners. So that means through out turn 7, turn 6 into turn 7, out of turn 11. It lacks a little bit of attraction, and yeah, I think about that. That's about it. On the balance while exit and acceleration. Balance while braking and turning. It definitely has no snap oversteer. coming from high speed. Feels lazy on the braking. It really feels like into turn 1, I feel like every single time I'm approached there, I brake, slow down the car, and I feel like I'm braking so long. And then when the actual turning comes, you're so quick and you just overshoot the turn. Maybe my field of view is set wrong, I'm not sure, but I need to take a little look into that. I didn't test it yet. What is it? A touch less boat than the Bentley. A lot less boat than the Bentley. The Bentley really feels like a heavy tank. Full stop. And the Bentley feels like there's an R factor too. I think the Bentley does not exist in iRacing. But yeah, it really feels like a heavy boat, the Bentley. And the BMW feels fine. I do think in slow speed corner, car is balanced well overall, but it feels understeery, that's for sure. Feels understeery, lazy. The turbo really drops in a low RPM range. Arbor Nutella, thank you so much for your subscription, and I'm quickly gonna take that BOP sheet away in order to get the little GIF up. Hey Xavier, you say the Bentley is one of the most lightweight car in the GT3 field. Big in size but lightweight. Disagree. The Bentley here is set with... Where is it? There we are. Weight 1,300 kilograms on the Bentley and 1,230 on the Huracán. BMW 1,300 kilograms, but this car feels a lot less heavy than the Bentley. And I do not know what the problem is, because apparently the BMW has more brake horsepower, but it has less torque, it has less wheel spin. The car overall is... Okay, now wait for that slap in the face. Emmanuel, you are the guy, you do know what the car specification is. Feel free to correct that entire grid here. Basically that one. It's kind of hard to find information. Like I have, not me, but Steam King 2160 has done some research on the web page of the Blancpain series. So the Lamborghini Hurracan and the Bentley Continental GT3 data, they are from the official Blancpain website. The BMW M6 GT3 though, I do not know where he did get that information from. If Steam King 2160 is still around, please have a little, please tell me where you did find that information, so we may be able to get the right values in. Beyond that, carrying on, the BMW has the best balance in high-speed corners, full stop. Turn 10 is a dream, surely. Nice balance through turn 10. Not too understeery, that's for sure. I mean, all those cars are very understeery in that turn 10, but out of those three, the BMW by far is the best turning car around turn 10, full stop. It has a nice balance, high speed. Cannot really say more about high speed turns, because turn 10 is the real only high speed turn if you don't want to count 3. I mean, turn 3 is just a little right kink where you set your car up for turn 4. Yep. This is what I say as well, Heiko, so I agree with that on the boat. The weight transfer in the BMW feels awfully long. So you really have to wait until the car's weight has been swapped around from left to right and stuff, especially that is a good point actually. Slow to mid-speed corners. weight transfer takes quite long. You have to wait until car is settled in turn 1, turn 2. Same goes out of turn 4 into turn 5 and turn 14, turn 15, despite the way between the corners is a little longer there. Car is lazy in weight transfer, probably needs to be looked at setup wise. Right, the data for the Bentley is still from 2014 when the GTs were all around 500 brake horsepower. Okay. Emmanuel, you need to tell those guys in the block pad then to speed up updating their shit. Balance low speed corners, understeery lazy because of slow weight transfer. It feels lazy on the braking. It definitely requires trail braking to be turned. I'm gonna edit in that cell here. When being off the pedals, the car tends to snap oversteer. I do not know why it is doing so. Maybe this is a preload setting. So to keep the car balanced, you may wanna keep the pedals operated at all times. That gives so much more balance. It's fairly interesting. Car's balance well overall, feels understeery lazy because of the slow weight transfer. Need to be patient with exits. Exit stability apart from that is good. And I think that is a very basic overview about those cars. And I have seen Emmanuel brought up a GT3 notice. Where is my mouse? There we go. That is actually a balance of performance. Oh, that is very nice indeed. I'm gonna bring that. Am I allowed to show this? Well, you brought it up here anyway. So here we see a balance of performance sheet for the tracks category D, which is Brands Hatch and the Nürburgring Sprint. So these balance of performance measures are the result of the tests, research, analysis and projections performed by SRO Limited and are the sole property of SRO Limited. Are we allowed to show them then? Oh, if that video gets pulled, never mind. Consider yourself being exclusive content here. So that is from 2016. And that is very nice indeed. So you can see the weights right here. Lamborghini 1230 kilograms. Sadly, the oh, what's missing? My goodness me, where's my brain? The Bentley is missing. I have to admit, I need to go through those documents in all silent and have looks into it. Emmanuel, can you give us a little insight in how balance of performance is working? Do they send out drivers, reference drivers, in each and every car around the track, or do they actually take out the measurements of the ECUs of the GT3s? How is that balance of performance being done? I'm gonna save that PDF, and if you guys are looking for the balance of performance we did right here based on that stream, I'm gonna send that file with you if you're interested in it, as long as I'm allowed to share. So bringing up that back, I think that means we are more or less done on that point. Balance of performance here with absolutely set. The BMW feels the greatest. The BMW for me is the fastest. Not sure if that is absolutely right, but I assume it is. It's no surprise to me that the Bentley is the slowest car. It feels the most heaviest. It feels it is the slowest on the main straight. So I kind of guess that is a kind of valid result we brought up here. The only problem, or the only the only problem we might have is the time difference is a little bit out of the range. We have not tested it with optimized setups, and the only other problem we do have, it is still beta. We still do not know whether this is going to be the final version. So how is BOP done? They take the factory driver, put it in 3 laps on the same track, usually. Yeah, Paul Ricard. Okay, Manuel. Yeah, I would love to have a look at it. Definitely that one keeps locked behind the doors then. Yeah. I got that thing later set up. You're so right. You're absolutely right about that. Okay, next up. We've done the balance of performance, and I hope you guys enjoy it so far. Now, what I'm going to do, because it hasn't happened yesterday, is we're going to get out with in the race, and I'm gonna do. Can I skip? I'm gonna hop quickly into the race directly, and I want to see how a pit stop is performed. So I'm gonna do it the very first minute, and then I'm gonna have a little bit of hot lapping on the global leaderboard, in the hope that it works really well. Setup wise, I'm going with the aggressive preset. The reason why I'm taking the Huracán, very simple. I do love the freaking sound of that Huracán. That is the reason really why I choose that car. I mean, I'm going to box in the first lap anyway, just want to really see how this pit stop is done. Oh, I could have full throttled it. I didn't know so. When does the green flag drop? Lol. So, no grit in the back. Whoa. Just gonna head. Yeah, collision with the cars. They really need to look into that a little bit. I did not feel the contact being made at all by any car. Right now I do not really care. Just want to get in the pits and perform a pit stop, and that's about it for that race before we head over into the global leaderboard challenge and see where we can put our name down. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We'll have a look at it and keep it locked behind the doors. I'm not sure if there is something like a pit stop request. I don't think so though. Actually, I have not seen a button for this. Lol, Wilson spun. We're gonna have a look at the pit stop then, as I was still owing that information, that footage to you guys from yesterday. By the way, this balance of performance episode is gonna be extended as soon as the next car comes out. We're gonna take it out at Paul Ricard as well again, and update the balance of performance sheet. So into the pits we go. Big thumbs up that in Assetto Corsa Competizione you can drive in the pits wherever you want, or you have manual control in the pits basically. Top 50 would be nice. I would be interested how this works now. So the crew's ready with a fresh set of tyres. We park in that little box. Okay, I hear something happening at least. Where is the... That is brilliant. I have seen really weird animations of F1 2017. F1 2018, where everything is pretty weird.
Come on, let's go.
But that is pretty nice. The only thing that is missing right here is the hydraulic nozzle that has been put into the car in order to get it up to change the tires. That could be included if you love in detail. Oh, I love that sound of the Huracán, really. There's two cars at the Nürburgring I always recognize. Well, basically three: the Audi, the Lambos, and the Mercedes. Because that Mercedes is really unique. So that is how a pit stop works in that game. And I have to say, good job, guys. That is really looking good. Special events. So the hot lap event in the BMW, we're gonna put on the aggressive setup. Twiggy, if you're still around, I think yesterday I already looked at it and I was like, I'm not sure, but the tire pressures have already been pretty low. Anyway, here we are. Got up the aggressive setup here. On the aero balance, we'll definitely higher the rake a little bit, lower the front right tight, keep the rear wing the way it is. Fuel is gonna be low anyway, and as usual I'm gonna tighten the springs a little bit. A preload differential, since I not entirely know what it's doing, I keep it the way it is. Also keep the steering ratio the way. ECU map, I need to know that. ECU map, Emmanuel, the ECU map is 0 the lowest, or is 3 the lowest? So which of those maps gives me full power? I would like to have that information before I set off, because I do not really know. ECU 0 is most. Okay, there we go. Gonna take that set, go back and drive. So let's see what we can do. We do know that we can set 53s. I'm gonna give this 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna finish off for today in Assetto Corsa Competizione. There might be more iRacing tonight, as we got any GT3 or the RSR around Sebring. So IMSA and VRS GT Sprint are around the Sebring International Raceway. So we're gonna have a look whether we do either of those. Wow. Too aggressive. Ghost Rider 115, thank you for your subscription. Welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. TC set to 3. Feels better. Alright, thanks for that information, Emmanuel. That is huge help. The Huracán is so nice through that turn 10. I really love it, and that is the problem of the high rake now. So the high rake definitely makes the rear end a lot more loosey. And despite we're sitting here in the global leaderboard now, I hope the game connects considerably quick to the leaderboard. I think that is still a bug. Not sure if you already know about it, but in the other builds it took the game quite a long time to connect, if it connected at all. Don't spin too much of a slide. Ow. Emmanuel, do you even use first gear in those GT3s? Or is the first gear just a gear to get away from the pit box and into formation lap? Okay. I feel though the turbo kicks in pretty late there on the BMW. Might just be me or some subjective feel about it. If you use the first. Thank you, Emmanuel. I feel the first gear so much better for turn 5, despite they might be wrong. So we improved by a second. 154.2.
Well done, mate. That's not bad.
Ah, ow. Bad exit out of 2. So we're 10th ahead. Still got a 10th to find in 11 and 12, especially in 11. Yeah, Malachi, I hit that cone in turn 1. You're absolutely right. Bad turn 10. Missed that apex again in 11. Yeah, was too quick, not got far enough to the inside. Alright, I got some hope though to make it at least to the 53. Sadly, I have no idea how good I am pace-wise. What is worth of a 54.2? I do not know whether you can see the leaderboard somewhere online. A little help on that is highly appreciated. No, just sliding it again. Too much of the curb. We're lucky in half a tenth. Well, alright, a full 10th then. Apart from that little slide, I felt pretty okay. Too early on the brakes. Oh, invalidated my lap time. Okay, let me change a few clicks here and there. I'm not gonna do that very long though. Current setup, aero. One click more on the rake. Aero, that is bad news. Well, we just get a time in for the records then. And I'm gonna note it down and try to compare later during the month. So that means it's pretty pointless to run that here. I will do 1 or 2 tries and then see where we end up. Yeah, I can skip that try immediately right there. And go again. It feels like that the car is very best in the first lap. I do not know how it's possible to stall the engine at 30 kph. Emmanuel, if you're still around, may want to note that as a bug. But the starting sequence seems to be broken here, from that perspective. Okay, that is a bit too quick. I'm gonna not do this any much longer, just 2 or 3 laps still, and there we go. So here, maybe, this time it worked. Car's a lot more aggressive now in the rear. Oh there, Mitchie, bring that lap home. No, no. And I throw it away. Oh, grrr. I have lost grip now on these tyres, have I? According to those bars. So we'll get back into the pits. Go out for the final try before ending that stream. And already I can thank you so much for watching and keep that stream an interesting journey. It was the first time I did some Balance of Performance live. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm surely gonna do more Balance of Performance as soon as more GT3 cars come out here for Assetto Corsa Competizione. Too quick, and that sets the lap already into death. That is, once this car starts sliding, it doesn't stop in time, as once the grip is lost until it's being found back. So final try, guys, and then I'll leave it. Good exit out of 2, but I lost too much time beforehand. Missing the apex of 5 and a red lap time. Yeah, I'm overdriving the car now, and beyond that, yeah, after 2 hours of driving, you're probably not the freshest anymore. Gonna save it as work in progress number 2. Confirm that. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much. It actually brings that stream towards an end, and I hope you have enjoyed what we did right here, and we'll keep joining back for more of such stuff. Balance of performance is something fairly important when you decide where to race, what to race, and which kind of direction you want to go. So, with that being said, it is a fairly important thing to be measured, especially for sim racing as well. And yeah, hence why we do it. Once again, guys, if you want to get that information, mail it at me at Hoya, Mitchie at avidchronicracing.com or Sean at thesimpit.com. Note the subject GT3 BOP Assetto Corsa Competizione, and you will receive the allowed balance of performance from 2016, the document, as well as the document we made up here. Was sure that didn't work, so go back. That one. For those of you who just saw I look at Twitch, I would love to rate someone, but apparently none of my streamers are online right now. So if you guys got someone you want to watch right now, feel free to name me that that person and I'm gonna rate. Beyond that, what else is happening? Not sure whether there's going to be some iRacing right today. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hey Colorado, thank you for joining in. Sadly, we're about to end the stream right here. And guys, if you like what you see, please hit that like button, share, subscribe. Bring your people into that show. Get them excited for the stuff we do. And yeah, then we see each other back for more. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's just one day to go until Friday. So weekend is straight ahead. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the Simpit. I'm Itchy Hoya. And I'll see you guys out on the track.